Hey there, fellow sports gamblers. It's Steel Picks for you with the 5 best NBA playoff prize picks and Underdog free picks for today, May 8th. Before we get into today's picks, let's see what happened to us yesterday. The Cleveland Cavaliers scored 18 first quarter points. James Harden had none of them to go under the 3.5 first quarter points we said he'd go over. Donovan Mitchell had 2 steals to go over the 1.5 steals we said he'd go under. Dean Wade, though, was 2 for 4 from behind the three-point line to go over the half a three-pointer we said he'd go over. Rui Hachimura was 4 for 7 to go over the 1.5 three-pointers we said he'd go over. And Chet Holmgren was 3 for 5 from behind the three-point line to go over the 1.5 three-pointers we said he'd go over. The 3-ball from those 3 guys saved us, and 3 out of 5 isn't terrible, but let's see if we can't put together an immaculate ticket for today. First up, we have Stephon Castle, over 14.5 points. Now, so far in the playoffs, Stephon's been able to get over that mark in every single game, which is positive for us. And in the last 2 games against Minnesota, 17 and 21 points. So certainly like his chances with regards to that. The minutes that he's been playing, we see that he is playing a pretty consistent amount of minutes, except for in games 1 and 2 against Minnesota, where he got into a little bit of foul trouble. That's unfortunate, but going to game 3 in Minnesota, I certainly think that he's learned his lesson and that he'll be able to kind of play better position defense and not use his hands so much. Kind of got him into trouble in games 1 and 2 with regards to the minutes. The free throw line, he's been doing quite well in the last 2 games. Into the line 8 times in game 1 against Minnesota, 9 times in game 2, where he made all 9. With the shot clock is definitely very much in our favor. And with regards to field goal attempts, you see he's been pretty consistent with the field goal attempts, about 13.5 a game. Games, again, 1 and 2, he was in a little bit of foul trouble. But as you can see, he was still able to take 8 and 10 shots. And his field goal percentage has been pretty good since the first 2 games where he had 31% and 35%. The last 5 games, he's been shooting about 50% from the field. So when he's getting his shots, he's definitely making them. So I certainly like for Stephon Castle to go over the 14.5 points. And using that same logic, I also like Stephon Castle over 7.5 first half points. And as you can see, in the last, all of his playoff games, he has been able to go over that mark. And in a few of the games, game 3 against Portland, he actually had twice that amount. But he's been in double digits in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those games, and both games against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And as far as minutes played in the first half, you see he's been pretty consistently at about 15.5 minutes. And even in the games where he had foul trouble, he had 13.4 and 15.9 minutes. So certainly going to get plenty of opportunities to make shots. And in the same way that I think that he's going to score over 14.5 for the entire game, I think that he'll have at least half of that in the first half. So I like Stephon Castle over 7.5 first half points. As we can see, Prizepicks likes this as well at the -119. Next up, we have Anthony Edwards over 4.5 assists. Now, Anthony has not been able to do this very consistently, but as he comes home, I think there's going to be more of an opportunity to get the other teammates involved. I think that he sees the error in his ways with regards to what happened in the loss, their 48-point blowout in game 2 against the San Antonio Spurs, even though he wasn't playing very many minutes and not really in foul trouble. I think that he's going to want to get his other teammates involved. It's just a matter of opportunity. I think that when he's at home, understanding the situation and the percentage that teams win, the team that wins game 3 typically wins the entire series. He knows that this is I don't want to say a must win, but definitely a make or break opportunity for the Minnesota Timberwolves to get the momentum back. And I think that he'll be trying to get his other teammates involved, most notably Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle. And speaking of Jaden McDaniels, I also think that he'll have a pretty good game. I think that he'll be over 8.5 2-point attempts for the game. As we can see, he's done that in every game but 1 and just had an absolute complete explosion in game 6 to close out the series against Denver. In games 1 and 2 against the Timberwolves, not so explosive, but over the 8.5 2-point attempts that we needed from him. 12 in game 1 and 9 in game 2. And as you can see, the San Antonio Spurs for the season, although I don't like to take that into consideration too much in the playoffs, we're in the bottom half of the league with regards to 2-pointers allowed. As we can see, as far as minutes are concerned, he certainly didn't play a whole lot of minutes in game 2. In a little bit of foul trouble, but consistently playing about 32 minutes a game. His high water mark being 44.5 in that closeout game against the Nuggets. He also had 36 minutes in the first game of the San Antonio series. So certainly think that he'll get a lot of opportunities to be out there and take shots. And with regards to his attempts, we'll see that they have been pretty consistent, about 12 attempts a game, making a pretty high percentage of them, as you can see, 57% in game 6, the closeout game against Denver, 58% in game 1, 67% in game 2. So certainly going to think that he's going to get his opportunities with regards to that. And with regards to free throw attempts, still doing not terrible, well, actually kind of terrible. Only 2 free throw attempts in game 1 and 1 in game 2. But I certainly think that the mark is going to go up as he's going to be more aggressive going to the hole as they're at home for that game 3, which they're looking to regain momentum and make this a series. And as a reminder, when you sign up with BETR using my promo code WINCASH, you'll receive 2 anytime tokens worth up to $100 each. And when you sign up for Novig using my STEELEWINS promo code and spend $5, you'll get an extra $50 bonus. Just some extra cash to make some of these prop bet wagers with. Let's see what you can do with it. And last but not least, we have Josh Hart under 9.5 rebounds. Now, it was only the first 2 games of the Atlanta series that Josh has been over the 9.5 rebound threshold. And don't expect that to change as he goes on the road to game 3 against the Philadelphia 76ers. A very hostile environment, a game that the Philadelphia 76ers know they have to win in order to make this a series, as no team has ever come back from 0-3. So they will definitely be in desperation mode. And although they're fairly decent with rebounds allowed overall against shooting guards, about the same, but I certainly think that they'll be able to hold Josh Hart off of the glass. That's not really what he does. It's not really his thing. And in addition, stats and analytics bear it out that he hasn't done that in the last 6 games of the playoffs. As far as minutes are concerned, he's going to certainly play a high amount of minutes, 43.5 in game 2, but not really getting a whole lot of rebounds. As you can see, his high water mark being 14-13 in the first 2 games of the Atlanta series, but in the last 2 games against the Philadelphia 76ers, only 8 and 7. I expect that number to stay roughly around the same. I don't expect him to be crashing the glass, as he'll be mostly preoccupied trying to stay in front of Tyrese Maxey, DJ Edgecombe, and Paul George. So to recap, we have Stephon Castle over 14.5 points, Stephon Castle over 7.5 first half points, Anthony Edwards over 4.5 assists, Jaden Daniels over 8.5 2-point attempts, and Josh Hart under 9.5 rebounds. And the ticket I put together, also a Stephon Cass special. Stephon Castle over 14.5 points, Castle over 7.5 first half points, and Josh Hart under 9.5 rebounds. That's the 5 picks I have for you today. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the Steel Picks for You channel. And good luck, everyone.